Well, hey folks, it's your old pal King Waspinator. Welcome back to Total Party Skills. Hit like and subscribe. Occasionally in videos, I've made the statement that, to some degree, the youth crowd that keeps nitpicking various aspects of D&D and wanting them changed, that might all just be a sign that D&D is actually not a good fit for them. It's the most popular role-playing game. It's the one they're most likely to have heard of. It's the most promoted, so on and so forth. However, honestly, I don't mean it as some snarky, like, we just go play something else kind of thing. I mean it in all genuineness. It is quite likely that you might like the experience more with some of the other role-playing games out there. Particularly if you find D&D problematic for various social issues. First and foremost, I would recommend Cyberpunk Red, I guess is the current version. I'm still in my head used to Cyberpunk 2020. It has very modern sensibilities. There's no such thing as, different player races to, give different ability scores to. It's pretty neutral upon, what ethnicity your character is. There's tons of themes about transhumanism and gender bending kind of stuff. It seems like it's really the most natural fit for current year generation. Whereas D&D and the fantasy genre in general are, it does contain things that you're going to find problematic, and that's not really going to go away, because if you strip too much of that problematic stuff out of it, then it's not quite the fantasy genre anymore. The sad thing is that a lot of those, things that, people nitpick about D&D that, they find doesn't go hand in hand with modern sensibilities, is that they're kind of missing out on an opportunity to, have teaching moments in their games, or to actually explore these ideas in a fashion that detaches it from everyday human life, because you're putting it in the form of a stand-in symbolic magical species or monster race or whatever it is. You can explore all sorts of themes about human history and human brutality and human interrelations and, cultures getting along or not getting along. You basically do like a lot of the stuff that they did in Star Trek Deep Space Nine with the Bajorans and the Cardassians, where they're able to, at the same time, frame the Bajorans as both the Jews and the Palestinians at different points in history. And in their relation to the Cardassians, you're both simultaneously the Jews and the Germans. If you think orcs being evil and their portrayal in the book, it strikes you as some sort of statement about some group or another, you can change details a little bit. You don't have to throw out the concept of evil orcs. You can just put a little thought into how you want to portray that evil. Portray them as what you think evil is. If you're a young dyed-in-the-wool liberal activist, perhaps you should have your orcs act like a bunch of grunting inbred rednecks or something. The choice is yours. It's up to your imagination to put your own spins on these things. You don't have to make it exactly like the book. But at the same time, why are you trying to spoil things for everybody if you don't actually like it? There are other things out there. There are other game systems that have long since existed as like an answer to the critiques people had of the D20 system, going all the way back to before it was called the D20 system, when it was just D&D's rules. White Wolf, the storyteller system, that I guess is currently largely under the helm of Onyx Path Publishing. They're a great example of that. Characters are always pretty balanced. There's no random determination, so no one can get lucky and like overlord and everyone else because they have like insanely high ability scores. Everything's point based, and it's up to you how you want to distribute the points. And so, but there's a sense of balance between everybody. The White Wolf games are much more about social interaction and the politicking of these monster races that are secretly in control of human society and all that kind of stuff. It also explores all sorts of transhuman, transgender, cosmic identity kind of stuff. The list goes on, is all I'm saying. There's tons of other games out there that you could actually find that you much more genuinely appreciate and enjoy playing, that won't bother you for some political reason or another. Otherwise, you're just like punishing people for liking something, and that's kind of shallow. So I don't know if you really want to, stand up for what you say you believe in. Well, then move along and play the game that actually shares in your beliefs. And I guess that's about it. Stay waspinated.